What is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And, well, we were originally going to have this as a live stream. Now I'm just going to have this as a premiere because for some stupid-ass reason, OBS cut off my feed. So I have no idea why, but it did, like, while I was trying to do a reaction, and I'm not gonna repeat myself 20 minutes in of recording absolutely nothing while I'm talking. So, we're just gonna do it like this for now, and I'll try to figure out what went wrong next time. Because this is ridiculous. But yes, I'm gonna go through this so Deku, so this is a death battle. Don't really care too much about death battle. They got terrible time release. Finally getting this because people asked me if I do a reaction to this. I'm not gonna go over everything that I just talked about on the failed live stream, but but basically I'll say I don't really know that much about Miles Morales, but stuff I do know about Miles Morales is that he is, basically has most of the abilities that Peter Parker has. Deku obviously has very similar abilities, and he basically does have a web similar, thing that he can use at his disposal that he got from one of the old One for All wheelers. So I don't really see how Miles Morales can win. But again, this is Death Battle, which are the notorious rule breakers, composite masters. Composites should never be used because, it's not the real character. Just like how Broly in DBZ is not the same Broly in Super. It's just the same name. But, that's how Death Battle is. I don't talk about it anymore unless I'm bringing it up here to recap their stupid-ass rules. But, it's like talking to a brick wall because they're never going to change this viewpoint. They've been doing it since episode 1. They're going to continue doing it, and that's just how it is, unfortunately. It's wrong, but that's what they do, But anyways, let's get to the fight here. Do we have it up? Alright, here we go.
Miles Morales versus Izuku Midoriya.
Spider-Man versus Deku. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
A composite death battle.
All right, let's take this from the top again. This is Peter Parker. He was bitten by...
Why are we talking about Peter Parker, though? Like, I know he's the original Spider-Man, but why are we talking about him? We know it's Miles Morales. We don't need to know about Peter Parker here. Especially since Peter Parker Spider-Man has been used in Death Battle before. So most people that have probably watched Death Battle, your regular viewers, probably already know this.
A radioactive spider, and for who knows how long, he's been the one and only Spider-Man.
A friendly neighbor to all of New York City. In a universe filled with super soldiers, hulking green Goliaths, and world-shattering gods, Spider-Man is there to look out for the little guy.
But in a multiverse of infinite possibilities, that doesn't...
I'll just say this like I said in my what I originally said. Miles Morales is in the same universe as Peter Parker.
Always last forever, like in Universe 1610, when NYC's Webhead got iced on the job.
The city was left without its protector. But fortunately, Peter wasn't the only one who got bit. Enter Miles Morales, a young teen from Brooklyn just trying to figure out his place in the world. And now, he had it thrust upon him.
The canon event to start all canon events. Now it was Miles.
I would like to know if this is actually real, because I don't really know that much about Miles. I don't know how they determined this. Did he actually mention this? Did he like DBZ and Naruto? I mean, I know his love interest is Gwen. Even though in some continuities Peter Parker's love interest is Gwen, but obviously his main one would be Mary Jane Watson. Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting.
His turn to be the hero the Big Apple needed, and he had all the usual spider kit to help him out.
This spider carried the Oz formula, a genetics-enhancing serum that granted Miles superhuman strength, speed, and the ability to alter his body's electron attraction to crawl along any surface.
And you can't forget that classic spider sense, an internal warning system that lets Miles know about incoming threats so he can react ahead of time. He even got an upgrade that acts like a radar, letting him see through stuff.
But no spider person is complete without their web shooters. Given to him by Peter's Aunt May, these webs have all sorts of applications between swinging, grabbing, restraining, projectiling, and being made into constructs.
Not having Peter around to show him the ropes made things a lot tougher, though. And between mishaps with wall crawling and web slinging, Miles got off to a rocky start.
Like any typical teenager, he had a lot of self-doubt. Could he keep up in school? What was the right way to talk to girls?
And how could he live up to being Spider-Man when one of the villains he had to face turned out to be his very own uncle? Makes family dinners
That is very sad.
so awkward. All that trying to kill you stuff.
Fortunately, Miles had a leg up on every other superhero known to man.
Yeah, I did.
Living parents. Better
Yeah,
yet,
that's
loving
actually a pretty
parents.
good thing.
They supported him when things got tough, even if they didn't always
No,
see
that
it.
is a pretty good thing to know, and it wasn't until they brought that up that I didn't even realize that. But yeah, they Miles is probably one of the fewest superheroes that actually has the living parents. I'm sure there are others, but there aren't that many. And there's nothing I can really think of on the top of my head right now, actually. Some of the main superheroes that we think of in DC and Marvel don't actually have parents, or they are dead or far away or single mom, single dad, or even Peter Parker's case, Uncle Ben.
Eye to eye. And thanks to them, he learned that the best way to be Spider-Man wasn't to do it like Peter, but to do it his own way.
And it helped that this particular spider had a bit more to its bite than Peter's. Miles has a variety of unique powers, like invisibility and venom.
Not
Yeah,
like Tom
those
Hardy,
are
though it
those are different things that Peter doesn't have. So, but the invisibility thing might help him a little bit, but I still don't see how that would. I don't see how that would help him against Deku.
It's weird to give your main power the same name as one of your bad guys. Come on, Spidey, branding is important.
Miles can harness his own
And of course, I am gonna be more in favor of Izuku in this one because obviously I watch My Hero Academia, but I don't really think there's really anything Miles has that can beat Deku.
bioelectric energy and weaponize it, which is especially effective against individuals
Unless,
with
of course,
genetic
we're
mutations.
Punching, absorbing, blasting, mega blasting. Hell, he can even make electric constructs out of this stuff, like biowebbing and a damn sword. Jeez, what kind of spider was this?
It's not entirely science fiction. Studies have shown that certain species of spiders, such as the Linophiidae, have a process known as ballooning. By spinning a thread of their silk, they can use the Earth's natural electric fields to fly, traveling up to hundreds of miles. No pun intended.
Well, whatever kind of bite it was, it gave Miles the edge he needed to find his worth as Spider-Man.
Miles can dodge gunshots, missiles, and lightning bolts. He survived all sorts of beatings, including a building exploding on top of him.
Oh, geez, Spidey could lift buildings and dodge light speed attacks, and Miles is more than a match for him.
Like the time he absorbed the energy of a
This is impressive. I'm not trying to discredit this feat, but Deku's done this too. like this isn't that impressive for Deku, because like Deku can do this. While this feat was performed on Earth 1048, Miles Morales' universe compatible with the powers of their 616. 610 counterpart. Crossover. In comic crossover.
Bomb that was going to vaporize Harlem, a blast that would have equaled 15 million tons of TNT.
He's gotten kudos from a ton of older heroes too, becoming a member of the New Ultimates and the Avengers. He even helped form the Champions, a team of teenage superheroes with the likes of Miss Marvel and Ironheart.
So basically, like their version of the Teen Titans, but nobody really cares about it.
The king of Wakanda himself even suited him up with some Wakandan vibranium.
The same stuff as T'Challa's own suit. This super rare and tough metal can absorb kinetic energy and vibrational impacts.
It helps to regulate Miles's venom powers too, allowing him to better control his electrical output.
The vibranium is thinner to better fit his acrobatic fighting style, but it can still shake off most fatal attacks like they're nothing. This stuff is tough enough that Deadpool's swords have shattered against it.
Though it's not as durable as, say, Captain America's shield, and enough kinetic energy will overload it.
Don't be near it when it does, or you'll end up like the Falcon here when he used his vibranium wings to stop a bomb that was gonna blow up New York City. That's twice now. Does any other city have to deal with this stuff?
But when vibranium and spider powers still aren't enough, Miles can push his electrical output in.
Okay. I want to make sure.
To overdrive.
Giving him huge boosts in strength and speed, and making him a whole lot zappier. It's your classic shonen power-up, and he knows it too. He's a bit of a weeb, and has a thing for mimicking some favorites.
Despite his initial insecurities, Miles has more than managed to live up to his predecessor, no longer standing in the shadow, but side by side.
Literally, his universe got blown up, and he was sent to the main 616 timeline, along with his family. And now it's him and Peter as a pair of
No.
Spider Bros.
He's even become one of the big players of the Spider-Verse, teaming up with all.
And they're bringing up the movie continuity, which, again, that's composites. Blew up a giant symbiote dragon, lifted most of a building. That's not that impressive. Took a hit from a giant woman. Oh, how big was the woman? Dodged a missile. Lightning lasers. I mean, these are things Deku has done. Stop an inherent and save the web of life. Saved an alternate universe from his evil clone. Won an Oscar. I don't know how that's fucking important. Defeated a bunch of villains, basically. Venom, Green Goblin. Yeah, okay.
Sorts of other spider variants to defend the multiverse.
There's anime spider people, robot spider people, dinosaur spider people, spider people, a whole lot of them, each with their own way of getting the job done. Miles even led them into battle against the Inheritors, a bunch of interdimensional vampire assholes.
This is what Stan Lee was proudest of in his favorite superhero. Regardless of who they were, any sort of person could wear the mask and do the right thing. For so long as we stay true to ourselves and help others in our own unique ways, then anyone can be a hero.
Okay.
But what is a hero? To the citizen.
I like how they chanted right in there. This episode contains spoilers of the end of My Hero. Okay, oh shit, well, we're not even at the end of it.
Of Japan, there was no one more synonymous with the word than their symbol of peace.
All Might, the big numero uno. With a smile on his face, he could save anyone and win any fight, no matter what.
Or so it seemed. After a battle with his arch nemesis All For One, All Might was grievously injured. His time as a beacon of hope was coming to an end, and he would need to find someone to pass on the torch.
In this world, most human beings evolved to have their own individual superpowers, or quirks. But not everyone is lucky enough to get one.
Yeah,
like this kid named Izuku Midoriya, or as local bully Bakugo like to call him, the good-for-nothing Deku.
Izuku wanted to save people just like All Might, but even his idol told him that he would have to give up on his dreams.
Forever the beta.
Romance inches. Oh, you know one of them.
male in the shadow of Bakugo and his Sigma quirk until he got the chance to alpha up and lend his rival a helping hand, proving himself worthy of All Might's torch.
And so, after months of training, Izuku was granted All Might's quirk, One for All. This power allows him to boost his strength to incredible heights, using it for smashing attacks named after specific US locales, and a soccer club.
Or football, as they call it.
Straight punches, spikes, even finger flicks, One for All is the ultimate in strength-enhancing quirks.
The first time he used it, Izuku destroyed this giant robot in a single blow, on accident. Too bad it wasn't the only thing he destroyed, though. Damn, that looks like it hurts.
One for All's power was so great that the recoil would shatter Izuku's limbs when he used it. In the hands of an improper vessel, One for All could cause their body to explode, so Izuku would need to continuously train to master it at his Hero Academia.
Say that again.
UA High.
Here he'd be inspired by girly pop Uraraka to turn his zero name into his hero name, becoming the Deku who always does his best.
Something that he may have taken too far.
When it came to saving people, Do Your Best here had a bad habit of putting others way before himself. Sure, everyone else was okay, but he'd be good for nothing all over again if he got himself paralyzed.
So to cut down on his hospital bill, he developed full cowling. Instead of using his quirk in short bursts, he would continuously spread the energy across his body at low percentages, using it for acrobatics inspired by Bakugo's explosive movements.
And with that new thinking came a new fighting style, shoot style. To use a stronger limb that'd be less likely to break, Deku took a page from Nerd Emoji Ida's book and switched to focusing on kicks to pack in more of a punch. Yeah.
And that power would be needed. After a climactic battle with All for One, All Might would be forced into retirement, just a few months into Deku's training. Now it was his turn to face this demon lord.
But he didn't have to do it alone. Just as All Might had passed One for All onto Deku, it had been passed onto All Might by his master, and onto her by her master. One for All was a power that was built upon for generations.
The quirks of the previous users of One for All manifested in Deku, along with their spirits, or vestiges, to help him in his battle against All for One.
Black Whip gives him energy tendrils to swing around and restrain foes. They can also brace his arms and manually control his muscles if he can't move.
Float allows him to
All for One, gear, Black Whip. I remember Black Whip, smoke screen, float.
soar high into the sky. By combining it with controlled blasts of pressurized air, he can effectively fly.
Danger Sense detects incoming threats and unease, letting Deku react in advance, though it's mostly like an alarm bell and doesn't tell him specifics like location or number of threats. Familiar?
Smokescreen lets him,
Number of threats. In advance, though it's mostly like an alarm bell and doesn't tell him specifics like location or number of threats. Familiar?
Smokescreen lets him, create a smokescreen. But he can use it at full blast to create a bigger smokescreen.
Yes,
That's swell and all, but the real meat is in Fajin. After building up kinetic energy within his body, Deku can unleash it for bursts of strength and speed.
He's combined it with Black Whip to create the powerful Black
Whip,
Chain binding attack, and can use it in
basically
conjunction
like
with
the
full
left
cowling to achieve full
counteract,
100%, equaling All Might's full level of power without any recoil.
He once used it to outspeed a bullet shot by Lady Nagant, a former hero turned villain who has a sniper rifle for an arm. I think I'm in love.
Nagant's bullet once crossed a
Calm yourself, Boomstick.
distance of around 215 kilometers within a fraction of a second. That's 6,700 times faster than sound. And Deku was moving so fast, the bullet seemed like it was standing still.
And he can go even faster than that with his final quirk, Gear Shift.
By touching a target, he can control its speed without abiding by the laws of inertia. He can slow down foes to leave them frozen in the air, or move so fast he can punch multiple times in an instant.
Even All for One's own protege Shigaraki couldn't track him, and this is a dude who can catch light speed laser beam.
Deku can forcefully transfer One for All to an opponent to directly attack their soul, but he loses one of his quartz each time he does it. It is also requested that they integrate some of his DNA.
It does have a time limit though. After 5 minutes of continuous use, Deku's body will catch up to his speed, suffocating him as his cells become unable to take in oxygen.
Not nearly as bad as One For All was suffocating him, though.
Unlock full potential. Became the number 4 hero. It's kind of newer. Fleet nearly 200. Comments per hour. Survived. Can hit you really hard.
He's been doing all of this shit in just the 10th grade. I hadn't even figured out you can breathe through your nose at that point.
The pressure of having to save his friends, the country, the entire world weighed on Deku. So he left UA to fight this war alone.
But alone was never where Deku fought best. Having come from nothing, his admiration for his peers gave him strength, just as they admired his strength and desire to help others. Even Bakugo came around to him.
So when it came time to finally put that demon lord back in hell, his classmates, teachers, mom, friends, enemy, and everyone else supported and cheered him on. Because that was the greatest threat to All For One's reign all along.
Not All Might, not Deku, not even One For All itself. Just people helping each other out. And with their help, Deku defeated All For One once and for all.
As a teacher, regular non-user, everyone can need. Everyone can be a hero.
Then we're gonna skip all that parts.
Hello, it's me, store-bought Benjamin. I know what you're asking. Benjamin, what are unique colors
No,
you're
we're gonna
asking?
skip this too. Okay.
w.deathbattle.gg.
We're gonna skip all the spoiler stuff.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possible.
All right, so like I said, I don't see how Miles wins, but of course, this is Death Battle, so you know how it is. You know how they are. We'll see how this goes.
Possibility.
I think that
It's time for a death battle!
I think Deku wins, but it's Death Battle. But I want to see this. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Huh?
Just like oh, wait a minute. This is hand drawn. Shit, bro. That looks really good. Yeah, I like the setup with the comic book start. I would have liked to seen them like try to do something similar with Deku with the manga and then him jumping into New York City. That would have kind of made it even a little better. But I really like this setup.
Yo! You're more man and less spider than usual.
Whoa, I was looking for you! Care to show me what you can do?
Alright, new guy. First lesson, don't watch the mouth. Watch the hands.
Now watch mine! Delaware! Smash!
Let's try that one more time. Guess who?
I can't use my full power here. Gotta take this somewhere else. Oh, gross!
You got skills, man. I like that. Oh, Mila.
I'm sure that you're really nice, but you can't cut it here in BK. I'm sure that you're all might, but I'm running away at the right place. With all that murderous stuff, fanboy, you already lost. You should take the hit.
I moved us to an abandoned part of the city so we can go all out! Because I always do my best!
If I'm gonna do my best, I gotta do my own thing.
Sarah was right! Your quirk is amazing!
Amazing is my buddy. They call me the ultimate Spider-Man.
His suit has shock absorption, not nullification. So, it's got a limit!
Is this gonna be like a
Spider-Man. You really are the ultimate.
KO! Vaya con Dios!
Wait a minute. I thought he had to die. I thought the whole point of this was death. That was just... Yeah, no. Of course. What are they gonna say?
Aranya Hoven!
Let's start by talking about their superpowers, which matched up quite evenly. Unsurprisingly, given the not-so-subtle inspiration for Deku's quirks, though they did have some edges over the other.
The Spider Sense gave Miles more insight on his surroundings and threats than Danger Sense, which has been worked around before.
This meant Miles' invisibility was harder for Danger Sense to detect when he wasn't attacking, while the Spider Sense's radar system allowed him to find Deku in a smokescreen. But Izuku's other quirks granted him advantages of his own.
Float was a lot more mobile than Webs, and Fa-Jin gave a bigger boost in strength than Venom.
I mean, I would argue the same thing.
Since both had some advantages and disadvantages, we're gonna call superpowers a tie.
Next up, speed. Scaling to Peter, Miles could dodge light speed attacks, which
Okay. Even though you don't do that for the other battles, but of course.
actually outpaced Izuku moving faster than that sniper bullet. Fortunately for Deku though, that wasn't his best.
Thanks to Gear Shift, Deku could speed himself up to match Miles the same way he did to the light-catching Shigaraki. Even worse for Spidey, one touch from Gear Shift could freeze him in place and make dodging totally impossible. So speed goes to Deku.
As for skill, Deku was incredibly talented at analyzing an opponent's abilities and coming up with strategies on the fly.
But Miles' powers and fighting style gave Deku few immediate openings.
Deku may have received more formal training at UA, but he was ultimately only active in hero work for a little under a year.
Meanwhile, Miles is...
That doesn't mean he would be more stronger than him. Or I'm sorry, this is a skill technique, right? Doesn't mean he has more skills than him. Skills is based on like what they have in their arsenal. Just because he's not a full-time student, that's the reason.
Has been handling everything from neighborhood crooks to multiverse-ending gods for significantly longer.
It's close, but with his greater experience, skill goes to Miles, and that
I think you're really stretching that.
means the biggest deciding factor is raw strength.
And that was no contest. Miles absorbing the energy of that bomb was nothing to scoff at, but overwhelming power is what One For All is all about.
When Deku defeated All For One, the energy needed to part those clouds with his punch had a yield of 362 billion tons of TNT, smashing the bomb Miles absorbed out of the water.
But it wasn't as simple as that. Miles is wearing a vibranium suit after all, so the question wasn't necessarily who was stronger, it was if Miles' suit was tough enough to continuously absorb Deku's blows.
When the Falcon protected New York from that city-destroying blast, it had a yield of 546 megatons. Impressive, but Deku defeating All For One was still over 600 times stronger than vibranium's limit.
And Deku did that with One For All's embers, not the full package.
And remember, the vibranium in Miles' suit was much thinner than what Falcon and Black Panther had, making it unlikely it could absorb as strong of a blast.
It's there to provide more protection, sure, but there was no way it could survive all of what Deku could dish out.
Then why didn't Deku win? Did he win? I'm confused.
In this superpower battle, it was Izuku's overwhelming speed and immense strength that made him the winning hero.
So
And the morales of the story.
Hold on. Okay, Deku winning was the right call. But I gotta watch this again, because that ending, I was really confused by that ending, because I thought they had Miles.
I gotta do my own thing.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought he was going down.
Zero was right. Your quirk is amazing.
Amazing is my buddy. Big. Saito. That's
thought when he fell down. Oh yeah, here's this
Spider-Man. You really are
Okay, so
the
Deku.
ultimate.
Okay, so that's what that meant. Okay.
Run your hope to Deku.
As for
I was
skill,
really confused
Deku
by
was
that.
incredibly talented at analyzing an opponent's abilities and coming up with strategies
see
on the
that.
fly.
But Miles' powers and fighting style gave Deku few immediate openings.
Deku may have received more formal training at UA, but
Deku
he
winning is the right call. Deku winning is the right call. I don't know, the animation.
had a yield of
animation was great,
362
it's just the
billion
ending.
tons of
I don't know, the
TNT,
ending was-
smashing the bomb Miles absorbed out of the water.
But it wasn't as simple as that. Miles is wearing a vibranium suit after all.
But yeah,
So the
Deku
question
definitely-
Protected New York from that city.
is one for
I
all's
wanted to
Ember.
just-
When Deku defeated All for
might have
One,
missed
the
something.
energy needed to part those clouds with his punch had a yield of 362 billion tons of TNT, smashing the bomb Miles absorbed out of the water.
But it wasn't as simple as that. Continuously absorbed Deku's blows.
When the beating All for One was still over
Miles absorbed for more. New York, Oliver Hall, even has armored is much weaker than. Yeah, well, yeah, it definitely is.
600 times stronger than Vibranium's limit.
And Deku did that with one for all's Embers, not the full package.
And remember, the Vibranium in Miles' suit was much thinner than what Falcon and Black Panther had, making it unlikely it could absorb as strong of a blast.
It's there to provide more protection, sure, but there was no way it could survive all of what Deku could dish out.
In this superpowered battle, it was Izuku's overwhelming speed and immense strength that made him the winning hero.
And the morales of the story is...
The winner is Deku.
Yes, Deku definitely wins. I don't know how I didn't connect it when they did that ending there, but yeah, Deku winning is the right decision. That's all I'll just say. Like I like from the things I saw from Miles, I didn't see how Deku could lose. But again, this was Death Battle, but it was right. It was the right decision. Deku overpowers him in every way. I mean, the superpower thing, I think they gave Miles a little too much credit there. And then also, I don't think the because I think they said, what was it? Let me just, where is it? I'm just gonna look it up right here. Where's the skills over here? I can't find the stuff.
And Miles is wearing the energy of that thing.
Deku may have received active and hero works, but with his greater experience, skill goes to Miles.
The skills thing here that they gave to Miles, if we can just like unblur that right now.
Miles has been handling everything
Here.
Meanwhile, handling everything God's first.
And that means the biggest, but with his greater experience, skill goes to Miles.
I think this is not true at all. I think they got this wrong. There are reasons for giving Miles the skills was because, well, he's been doing it longer. You know, he's been doing it longer than Deku. So that means that Deku shouldn't get the skill edge. And I totally disagree with that. Deku picked up things very quickly in the short time of him having One for All. Just because Miles has been doing it longer doesn't mean that means he's better. He's more equipped than them. And you know, even they saying that, well, he's not a full-time student. Like, who gives a shit that he's not a full-time student? That doesn't mean that he had better experience than him from the whole idea of what he's picked up in all this time. I think Death Battle totally got the line. I think they were way too lenient on the superpower thing too. I think Deku has way stronger superpowers than Miles Morales. Like, I do not like the analysis on how Deku won here. Despite me following up the ending there, I did like the animation, though. Animation was great. It was hand-drawn. I love the comic book setup thing that they did. But, yeah, I don't agree with the analysis at all. Deku was the right winner, but you know, this should have been all green. Like this whole thing right here should have been all green. There should have been no red. There should have been no Christmas thing on the superpower here. Skills should have been green. Strength was green, but like no, this should have been a complete wash. Deku should have won this like handily, like based on the research. Like no, totally wrong. But right winner. Ending was kind of a little you know, and the confusion there for me at least. But yeah, Deku, right winner wins.
An immense strength that made him the winning hero.
And the morales of the story is...
The winner is Deku.
Next time on Death Battle.
This was the
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
So yeah, guys, what I'm gonna say here is, besides the weird ending, I loved the animation. Hand drawn, very good setup. Just really confusing at the end there. But you know, my question, you know, Deku was like praising Spider-Man at the end there, you know, and giving him his dues after he just killed him. Wonder what he thinks now. I mean, he took out the hero. He took him out. Well, you could see that Deku was like crying, like he was about to cry because he like knew he just about like defeated him, like he took him out. But yeah, like Deku outclasses him in every way. Like this should have been a no-brainer. And it was totally balanced for some reason. Like, oh, he gets the skill because he's been freaking more experience. He's had years of experience more than Deku. That's such a cop-out. That's bullshit. And they know it. That's bullshit. Deku won this fight. I mean, I said I looked at some of the stuff Miles could do before this, and I'm like, there's nothing that he can do that Deku can't do, and there's nothing that he has that would make the fight better for him to win. Like to me, like if I was doing this fight in my versus series, it would be completely all for Deku. I'm not just saying it because obviously I like my hero, but like straight up, like I was looking through the analysis of Miles, and even when I was looking through their analysis and what I was seeing from feats, there was nothing that I think that Miles has that like could possibly counteract Deku. Their reasonings for the least experience, you know, not as much experience or whatever. It's such a bullshit cop out. But yeah, that's about it. Comment, rate, like this video, my videos. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell for the next content. Thank you. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure our YouTube channel, besides it, Twitch, Instagram, also have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this one here. And now I'm out. Peace.